Let's get talking now. Charles Fakro, IBrandTV analyst, joins us now. Thank you for your time. Good morning, and it's good to have you join us.
Good morning. It's a pleasure having me on your show.
Yeah. So let's start from the first story, which talk about global high inflation, and this, of course, it's becoming a global issue because if you look at the inflation rate for March, rising from 21% earlier to around 21, more than 21%, 0.91% in March. And food inflation has also risen from 23 to 24% in the month of March 2023. So it looks like this is a Nigerian thing, but with this report, it is global, and this report captures the fact that the inflation affected Africa, North America, Latin America, South Asia, Europe, and including the Central Asia as well. Talk to us about this.
Yeah, it goes to show that the world is a global village. When Nigeria is having our own food crisis, inflation, we can see, and we are even aware that it's not a Nigerian thing, it's a global problem. Of course, we saw the war in Ukraine, Russia, saw how that issue affected wheat supply in the world and affected every other product that is being derived from wheat, which tells us that the world is a global village. And it now calls on the world leaders to begin to see how cooperation and collaboration is necessary for we to address and face any food crisis that is going to affect a particular country. Because if it affects one country, of course, it will affect neighboring countries and all over the world. So it calls for United Nations and the world leaders to have a concerted approach towards crises like this, because once half of the population of the world is hungry, then of course that is a serious security implication for the world, and it will not be too good because there will be crises here and there will be wars here and there will be so many uprisings. So this is the time where the world leaders will now have to look at this issue when it comes to availability of food, supply of food, and of course making this food affordable to the less privileged in the world despite the rising inflation.
Okay, so what do you think is the further implication of this for Nigeria? We're already battling inflation in Nigeria, but because this is global actually, and so how do you think the government or Nigeria can tackle it both ways? While dealing with inflation at home, we can also begin to talk about how to position in the global market as well.
Yes, a world that cannot feed itself then is less of the humanity. The Almighty has given this world, this planet, every resource that we need to feed ourselves comfortably. So what I see happening here is a little bit of human management. That is, the people in the world have mismanaged these resources. Coming to Nigeria now, what do we need to fix? Food inflation, of course, we cannot run away from it. The issue there is to fix our agriculture. We need to improve our agricultural production using modern farming techniques, increase yield per hectare, use technology to drive agriculture, and at the same time, when we do that, then there should be also transparency on the part of leaders, not defeat. When we are able to do this, we can contain inflation in the country, and food will be available at affordable rates to most Nigerians. Then we can now begin to look at neighboring countries. Because if you take care of yourself and your neighbors are still hungry, you are still having a problem. So there should be collaboration between Nigeria and neighboring countries when it comes to food production, food supply, food storage, and of course transparency in dealing with all these aspects.
Okay, let's get to the next story. Perhaps it's one of the biggest story of the day. According to this report, that gas demand will rise by 50% in the next 30 years. And if you look at Nigeria's consumption of LPG, which has increased by over 2,500% in 2007 to about 1.3 million metric tons in 2021. So what are the opportunities here?
Yes, it is obvious that looking at what we are going through today in the country and the world, everybody is transiting to sustainable energy resources. We cannot continue to do business or use energy domestically using sources of energy that are detrimental to the environment. So we are not surprised that Nigerians are transiting to a much more cleaner energy looking at the environment. There is a lot of opportunity when it comes to gas reserve in the country. And we are told we have over 209 trillion cubic feet of gas. But again, the gas is just lying under the ground here. We need to develop technologies that will assist us to extract it, process it, and now sell it to the consumer. That is the only way we can improve on this energy transition, and at the same time reduce poverty and people depending so much on other sources of energy that are detrimental to the planet. So we need to do a lot of work when it comes to gas exploration, gas refining, and of course gas utilization.
Okay. Let's move away quickly because of our time and look at kickoff of Nigeria May 29. According to the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, that they are waiting just like how talking about the International Civil Aviation Organization to give approval for the start for that May 29 kickoff date. So how feasible is this? I know there are some issues still in court, pending cases in court, when the airline operators of Nigeria and others, sue the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority over the alleged plan, to issue air operator certificate to Nigeria despite, the impending court case at the Federal High Court in Lagos. So how feasible is this kickoff date, May 29? And that's, of course, that date is special as well. It's a handover date as well.
Yes, thank you very much. We should have gotten to this level if the Ministry of Aviation and, of course, the Minister and all the government agencies involved in this Air Nigeria, if they have acted transparently, open, and make it known to all the stakeholders, so that everything will have gone seamless. But the way I'm saying it now, 29th of May is not feasible. Of course, if you have a court case that is pending and you want to go ahead to start up a project that is already in the court and the court has not given their judgment, they are telling us they are waiting for International Civil Aviation Organization, their own approval. That is an international body. And I'm sure that body will not act in defiance to what is happening to Nigeria. You need to clear all the court cases before this airline can come into operation. All the issues have to be sorted out. So for me, I don't see May 29 as a feasible day for the takeoff of Air Nigeria.
And one question people have also asked is that why May 29? Because that is a handover date to the next administration. So why choose May 29 to do this?
Well, choosing May 29, maybe the government, through the minister, wants to use that to Nigeria. It's a welcome development. But before now, when this issue were conceptualized, the idea stage, we're implementing it now, everything should have been done earlier, so that this would just be a mere formality. So I think, yes, the government wants to leave a legacy for Nigeria in the aviation sector, but with these court cases around May 29 is still not feasible. So it's just a symbolic date, just to give Nigeria a passing gift.
I know you talk about how feasible is it, to achieve that by that date. So if they miss, if the current administration misses May 29, and so the question is, what is the possibility of kicking off this project again? Because billions of naira have been spent on this project. You remember in 2018 it was suspended. I mean, millions of dollars were spent, and there was supposed to be a kickoff date, and it was suspended at the time. But now 4 years is gone down the line. I mean, 4 or 5 years is gone down the line. So do you think there's a possibility of seeing the light, this project seeing the light of the day when this administration winds down May 29th?
Well, I expect it to be feasible after this outgoing administration, because government is a continuum. And of course, we have a president-elect and it's from the same party. So I'm sure the new government will want to look at the aviation sector and see that, yes, there is a need for Nigeria to have its own national airline. And of course, I believe that the incoming government will pursue it to a logical conclusion. So despite all the issues involved, the incoming government should look at it very well and see that all the contending issues are cleared. And of course, Nigerians will be happy once this Air Nigeria comes into operation.
Okay. Well, I think we need to just leave it there. Thank you, Charles Fakroha, IBrandTV analyst. Thank you for coming on board.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Let's take a break now. Still to come after the break, we'll head straight to the equities market as Nigeria's equities market furthered its northward movement on Wednesday after rising by 0.95%. We'll take a look at the market drivers in a moment. Stay with us.